Greetings! In today's tutorial we're going to make floral foot salts, and this is a very easy project that only requires 3 ingredients and it makes a great gift. So I'm going to have our daughters Mariah and Madeline come and join us for the demonstration. Okay, so let's gather our ingredients and supplies. For the ingredients you'll need a half a cup of Epsom salt, 2 teaspoons of dried flower petals ground up, and 6 to 8 drops of essential oil. And there you see that there. Then for your supplies, you're going to need 2 baby jars, a piece of fabric about 4 by 4 inches, a measuring cup, a teaspoon, a 12-inch strip of ribbon, glue, a glue gun, a glue or a glue gun. Then you'll need scissors, a jar or a bowl, and then optional you can have a funnel and labels. And you see most of those items there. I forgot a few when I took the picture, but let's go ahead and get started with our foot salts. Okay, here you see Mariah. She's measuring a half a cup of the Epsom salts, and after she does that, we went ahead and let Madeline pour it into our jar. But as I said earlier, you can use a bowl if you'd prefer. We just used a pint jar for this demonstration. And then Mariah went ahead and she took about maybe 5 teaspoons of the dried petals. I've used rose in the past, but I didn't have them this time, so I used borage. And she went ahead and we used our magic blender. You can use, imagine you could probably use a food processor, but I'm not quite sure, or blender, or as long as they're ground up. You may even have to cut them or chop them. But once that's done, you're going to use this little recipe that I came up with. Requires, because it's so small, you only need 2 teaspoons of the flower petals. And then Madeline is mixing them in. Okay, now you're going to add your 6 to 8 drops of essential oil, and we've used lavender, which is a safe, fragrance, especially if you're giving out as a gift. And then go ahead and stir up your salts. And this is where the optional funnel comes into play, because you don't want a big mess. But the funnel, or with the salts rather, you can get about 2 4-ounce jars with this recipe, since it's only a half a cup of your Epsom salt. So there are the jars. And then about baby jars really quickly, we did not have baby jars at the time. However, I was able to get some. I made a contact at a daycare and they had washed several, and so Marlon picked those up for us. So I have several here, for projects, and if you know someone, perhaps they could share their baby jars, save them for you. Okay, let's go on to phase 2. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and choose your fabric, about 4 by 4 inch squares, and you're going to trace your lid. Don't use a pin that leaks. We found that out. But you're going to go ahead and trace, the lid, and then trace about maybe 1.5 inches from the lid. Make a circle or use a circular top of something. We use a quart jar top. And go ahead and start cutting it. And then, as you'll see, I stepped in here and used a hot glue gun. I imagine you can use, other type of glue to just kind of secure it into place. Okay, now you're going to put the top on your jar, and you'll have your 12-inch piece of ribbon. Go ahead and tie it around, and you have a cute little bow there. And then what I did was, again, I used the hot glue gun and just kind of secured it in place right under the bow, and then kind of on each side a little dots, just so it wouldn't move. There may be a more creative way to do that. That's just what I came up with, but I'd like to hear your comments if you know another way. Okay, now this is the optional label I mentioned. Mariah is practicing her cursive skills, and there you have your foot salt label. Okay, there is the final product, which you can give away as a gift or use for your personal use. And that concludes this tutorial on floral foot salts. If you visit our site at joyfuljunction.com, we have the printable instructions as well as labels you can print up if you'd like to. And that's it. May God bless you and your family.